Have you ever noticed how mirrors lie?
Not obviously.
Subtly, like they're showing you a world that's almost right, but not quite. I discovered this 3 weeks ago in my new apartment. The bathroom mirror was the first clue. Every morning I'd catch glimpses of movement behind me, shadows that didn't match my gestures, reflections that lagged a split second too long. I told myself it was fatigue, stress from the move, the unfamiliar lighting playing tricks. But mirrors are everywhere. The hallway mirror by the elevator, the storefront windows on my walk to work, the black screen of my phone when it's turned off. Each one seemed to hold something back, like they were showing me edited versions of reality. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. I was washing dishes, staring out the kitchen window at the building across the street. In the reflection overlaying the glass, I saw my kitchen, but it was different. The cabinets were arranged wrong. The refrigerator sat where my stove should be. And standing at the counter, with his back to me, was a man I didn't recognize. I spun around. Empty kitchen. Normal layout. When I looked back at the window, the reflection showed my kitchen correctly. But now, I was the one with my back turned, even though I was facing forward. That night, I covered every reflective surface in my apartment with towels, sheets, anything I could find. The relief was immediate. For the first time in weeks, I felt alone in my own space. But sleeping in complete darkness, I began to hear things. Footsteps that matched mine but came from the wrong direction. The sound of water running in a sink that wasn't there. Whispers in a voice that sounded like mine but spoke words I never said. I removed the coverings the next morning. I had to see. In the bathroom mirror, everything looked normal until I raised my hand to brush my teeth. My reflection raised its left hand while I raised my right. We stared at each other, my reflection and I, both frozen in recognition that something fundamental had shifted. The city became a maze of contradictions. Store windows showed interiors that didn't match what I saw when I entered. Car mirrors reflected traffic moving in impossible directions. My phone's camera showed spaces behind me that weren't there when I turned around. I started carrying a small hand mirror, comparing its reflection to larger ones, trying to find consistency, trying to find truth. But here's what truly unsettled me. Other people didn't seem to notice. They walked past storefront windows without glancing at their reflections. They checked their phones without studying their faces in the black screens. They lived as if mirrors were just mirrors, as if reflection was simple physics instead of something more complex and threatening. I began to document everything. Photos of mirrors, trying to capture the inconsistencies. But cameras lie too. They showed normal reflections, normal rooms, normal reality. The discrepancies existed only in the moment of looking, only in the direct experience of seeing. 3 days ago, I made a discovery. In the building's basement laundry room, there's an old mirror with a crack running diagonally across its surface. The crack splits your reflection, but only part of it. Your face appears whole on one side, fragmented on the other. When I looked into it, I saw myself clearly for the first time in weeks. Not a delayed reflection, not a reversed image, but me, exactly as I was. The crack, I realized, wasn't in the mirror. It was in everything else. The mirror was showing me reality. Everything else was showing me the distortion. I was living in a world where reflection had become the truth, and truth had become the reflection. I spent hours in that basement, studying the cracked mirror, trying to understand what it meant. In its fractured surface, I could see the apartment building as it truly was. Not the sterile hallways and uniform doors I walked through daily, but something organic and shifting. Walls that breathed, floors that tilted imperceptibly, spaces that existed in the margins of perception. The other tenants began to avoid me. They'd see me coming out of the basement and change direction, as if I carried something with me that made them uncomfortable. Maybe I did. Maybe prolonged exposure to unfiltered reality changes how you appear to others. Maybe truth has a smell, a texture, a weight that people instinctively avoid. Yesterday, I brought a hammer to the basement. I stood before the cracked mirror, raised the tool, and hesitated. If I destroyed the only source of truth I'd found, would I be trapped forever in the distorted reflections? Or would breaking it restore the world to its proper order? I set the hammer down. Some questions are more important than their answers. Some truths are more valuable than comfort. I still visit the basement daily, checking the cracked mirror, comparing what I see there to what I see everywhere else. The discrepancies are growing larger, more obvious, more unsettling. The mirror doesn't lie. Everything else does. And I'm the only one who can see the difference. If you're wondering what's real, maybe you should sign up for the channel's newsletter for new stories.